much that right there gets you ready if you weren't already ready watching those guys?
That's a lot of fun watching those guys out there, and of course the people on here won't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, watching Dusek and Stephen Smith and Ryan Long, Shedder. I don't know who else is out there. Hayden Howard, Grant Little. Those guys did an awful lot for this program, and we appreciate everything those guys have done. And it's neat to see them compete. I mean, I don't know if you noticed how Dusek got working a little slower there as that at bat went on, but it started getting a little competitive.
On the pitching staff, back to this year's team.
Okay.
The pitching staff, is it hard to kind of tell like progress of guys since they haven't thrown live since Omaha? The returning guys, is it hard to tell how much progress they've made? And
well, when you say they haven't thrown live, you're talking about thrown in an actual game. They've thrown in inter-squad games. So, yeah, and absolutely, that when the lights come on, sometimes guys become, you know, maybe you see a little more there, maybe a little more adrenaline, maybe you might see something that you didn't see in an inter-squad game. But no, I don't think it's hard to tell, you know, progress throughout the year.
You know who you're throwing from the first game?
Yeah, we're throwing Caleb Killian. I mean, our rotation, we released it to Oregon's Killian, Bonin, Montgomery, TBA on Monday.
How much would you like to see each one? I know at the beginning of the year you're kind of restricted on pitch count and stuff. Is there a particular amount of innings you'd like to see some of those guys go?
Well, I think really you just want to be efficient. When you start talking pitch counts, you want them to be efficient. You want them to have clean innings if they can and go out and command the ball and, you know, throw a secondary pitch for strikes when they need to. And, you know, I don't want to put any limits on them when you say innings. And when you say pitches, some guys can go out there and throw a few more pitches than others and be in a good spot. So we'll just see what the game's telling us.
What's the vibe or feel within the team with the guys you have coming back and with some of the new guys?
Well, I think they're excited. I mean, I think you guys are going to get to visit with Josh and Erickson Landing here in a minute. Usually this time of year, guys are really excited to kind of get the ball rolling. I got a great opponent coming in. Got a lot of respect for Coach Horton and his program, what they've done. But really right now it's about opening day and these guys getting to go play for the first time, you know, in about a year. And everybody's excited about it.
Since you've been to Omaha three times in 5 years, you got to the point where if you don't make Omaha, it's a disappointment. Has the program reached the level?
Oh, I mean,
where you feel like that should be the expectation now?
You know, I think obviously you have a vision for where your program wants to be each and every day. And really, we probably deal with more day to day than we do what you're talking about at the end of the year. Right now, we got to practice here in about about an hour and a half. But we really need to, you know, get some work in. As far as projecting whether I'm going to be disappointed or not, I mean, it probably depends on what happens between now and then. A lot can happen in a college baseball season. Each year's kind of a different journey, as most people would say. And you know, and along the way, you're going to have some adversity. And I don't think this group will be any different as far as that goes. And but really, what you're shooting for is for each guy to go play at the highest level he can each day, and individually and collectively. And if you're fortunate enough to get to where you're talking about, you're disappointed if you don't win it. I mean, getting there is fun, but you want to get there and you want to win each day. And so when you're there, obviously your vision is to get to that Monday, Tuesday, and be able to play on those days. And but I think each day and each year's different within the year, and so things could happen where you know, things could change as far as that goes.
What you've seen so far, how well do you think y'all have maybe recruited to patch the holes that you guys have left, you guys that you lost?
Well, when you start talking about replacing Davis Martin, Dylan Dusek, Ryan Shedder, all those guys that pitched for us the last 3 years, you're just not going to replace those guys immediately. It's going to take time to develop guys. throw guys in the fire, kind of let them find their roles. Who am I leaving out there amongst some pitchers? I mean, there's got to be some other ones. Stephen Gingrey. I mean, obviously Gingrey was a big part of it there his first couple years, and was a part of it last year too. Obviously, his confidence that he just brings to the ballpark meant a lot to our team. And then you start talking about the hitters. Michael Davis and Grant Little, Cody Farhat, Zach Reams. I don't know if you go replace a bat like Grant Little and Zach Reams, and you're gonna have a hard time finding a guy who can play center field like Cody Farhat. And you might watch baseball here for another 20 years and not see another shortstop like Michael Davis. Man, that guy can really play shortstop and has above average tools, and very fun to, just watch him play catch. If he comes out here, I'll watch him because it's fun to watch him. He plays at that high level. And but as far as our current team, to answer the question, there's guys there with definitely some skill, definitely some want to. Are they great at their craft yet? No, but that's something they're working towards.
Your outfield looks really crowded at this point with a bunch of guys that can play a lot of different positions out there. Have you got a set lineup for how you're going to start that, or are you still kind of up in the air on the corners?
Really, the beauty of playing 56 games, in your regular season, and starting out playing 4 here this weekend, we're going to get to play some guys. Gabe Holt, obviously, he'll start out there and right, and old Trimble will play some right throughout the year. You got Max and Noyes, he can play out there in the outfield. We could probably stick Easton Murrow out there if we wanted to. Probably forgetting some guys there, but Brian Klein's played some outfield. You're right, there's some guys that can go play out there, and each day presents a different challenge within your roster, and things happen to guys. I mean, guys tweak things, and you have to sit guys for a day. Sometimes it's a matchup deal where you need to, go with what your gut tells you as far as the matchup goes, or maybe what the numbers tell you. And, so, I mean, it'll be fun. We do have some options. Really probably the most important thing within that question is that all 35 guys show up ready to go. And the unique thing we've had with some teams is take a guy like Zach Davis that we could all look up in 2 years. He could be a role guy. He could be an everyday guy on a big league roster. And he was a role guy here for most of his career and embraced that role and was very good at that role. And probably the biggest thing is guys are ready to make an impact in the game when their name's called.
Marshall projected as a center fielder, correct?
Yes.
You mentioned Cody Farhat, how well he played in the outfield. How does Marshall compare to him? Are they similar?
Max is faster. Cody was he got to where he was so good at his craft, really good at angles, very accurate thrower, kind of embraced the ball around the wall. In other words, he wanted it to be hit there. I mean, you guys can remember a number of times the ball just scrape over the wall, and he might catch it and he might not catch it, but he always thought he's supposed to catch it. That's kind of the sign of a guy that, his feet are on the ground out there, he's getting reads off the bat, and he knew he'd take a good route. And so Max has the same type tools, but he's probably right now he's probably not where Cody is as far as routes and all that kind of stuff.
You mentioned Noyes also. Where does he project?
He's going to play some outfield and some infield.
And infield is which position?
Short or second.
How much has Caleb progressed this offseason?
Caleb Killian? Didn't throw a lot in the fall. Seems to be throwing the ball really well right now. Know he's excited about pitching tomorrow. He's been excited about tomorrow, probably since we got done last year. Made a big commitment to come back and help our program. We really appreciate that. I mean, when you get a guy that has an opportunity that all these guys dream about their whole life and they decide to come back to school, it's a pretty good sign, and we're really appreciative of that, and looking forward to seeing pitch.
With Ryan and Dylan, with those two guys, what they were able to do, both of them like playing and pitching, obviously 1-2 punch kind of thing. Do you see potential with any of the arms that you have this year with kind of having that same role that the two of them had last year, or is that a wait and see kind of thing?
What you're really talking about is like the way we used Dylan as a starter and Ryan came in right after that. You don't want to have to go to that. If you don't have to, we'd like to give these guys an opportunity to develop and go pitch. That was more out of necessity at the time, and if we have to do that, we will. I mean, that's something that the game will tell you that. I mean, right now, I think we've got 6 guys we could run out there as starters. Got a lot of confidence in those guys, and they'll all, at some point, I would think would get an opportunity to do that, and we'll take the ball and run with it.
Did you tell any of your friends in the major leagues that you pioneered the concept of the opener with your show? That became a big deal in the big leagues last year.
The interesting thing about that is all the way back to, I don't know if it was the same guy all the time, but Johnny Droz did it a lot in 14. And I think a lot of college baseball programs do it out of necessity and probably don't get the same type of, they probably don't talk about it like they do in the big leagues. You might do it out of necessity in a college game because the game's telling you, hey, this guy needs to get out of the game. Where Dusek and Shetter was unique is that they embraced the role and they knew if it was 2 hitters in, that was the right time. If it was 1 inning in, that was the right time. And they're very great teammates. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's hard to be as good as those guys were without being great teammates. And it was all about what was right for Texas Tech baseball at that time, which is really cool.
What does it mean for you all to get to start the season in front of your home crowd?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It means we get to sleep in our own bed. We're always excited about playing at the Rip. We're always excited about people getting to be here. Always excited about being able to share what we do with our community. And I mean, it's something that we love to do. We get to do it 34 times this year, and hopefully we won't go out and make anybody too mad. That's for sure.
How much is going to help your pitching staff having a healthy Erickson laying back?
Well, you can ask Erickson that. I mean, Erickson has the ability to go out and pitch on both sides of the plate, and he should be a key component down there in that bullpen. You should be able to go to him at any time.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit, the guys that you mentioned as number 2, number 3 this weekend, starters?
Bryce Bonham, young man that was at Arkansas, transferred out of there. And let's see, good arm, wipeout slider, good changeup. It's been up to 97 at times. Mason Montgomery's out of Leander, Texas, high school left-hander, good arm, good secondary stuff. I won't give you too much info. You hope they go throw strike 1 and command the ball.
What do you project McMillan? What do you see his role being right now?
He's going to be in the bullpen. I mean, we felt like we got a lot better last year when John went to the bullpen, and still feel the same way. What a weapon. I mean, he's commanding the ball as good as he has in a long time, and really excited for him. But the ability to bring him, out of the bullpen can really change a game, I would think.
And how do you see catcher breaking down playing time?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to know how the playing time will break down there. I mean, there's 3 guys back there with a lot of ability. Braxton Fulford, Mason Menzie, Cole Stillwell. About the time I tell you, hey, one of them's better than the other, or one of them's going to play better than the other one, the other will. So we'll let the game tell us that.
Do you have any idea if he will start at short tomorrow?
Drew Baker.
Coach, I
You guys are giving them a lot of information. I really need y'all to ask Oregon who they're going to play. Didn't play for them last year, okay?
So what does Coach Horton and the Ducks present for the Red Raiders?
Friday night guy, it's a junior, pitched on the USA team last summer. One of the better pitchers in the Pac-12 in the country. Good arm, good fastball, good slider, good changeup. Has been very competitive. Also hits for him at times. You know, a few left-handers down there in the bullpen that have pitched quite a bit for him. You know, they return 4 or 5 hitters. They'll have probably 4 or 5 new guys in there. I think there'll be an opportunity to have 3 or 4 freshmen, it looks like, on the field. You know, their Saturday guy was their shortstop last year. Probably one of the better arms in the country. He's been up to 100. You hear me? 100. Really good arm. They're trying to convert him to a starter. You know, looks like he's, you know, it's real. Sunday guy, everything I've heard, was their best guy in the fall. His name's Kafka. Guy on Saturday's Nelson. So, I mean, I think that's, you know, it's enough said there as far as I think their frontline arms are, you know, going to be a big challenge. You know, Coach Horton, Coach Dietrich, those guys have been around a long time, both old Fullerton guys. You guys remember them coming through here a few years ago, going to play sound baseball, going to bunt the baseball some. We'll see on that, you know, with the wind blowing. Wind's supposed to blow, what, 30 tomorrow, gust to 50? So we'll see. You know, they're going to bunt some. Traditionally, they're going to bunt. You're going to see a lot of fake steals. Maybe run every now and then. You know, I think they've kind of got the same deal. You know, behind the plate, they've got a couple guys they'll use back there. You know, it's really surprising to me that they weren't in the postseason. I think in the last couple of years, you're talking about some guys up there that really know what they're doing as far as managing a baseball team and doing what they do. And so I would think they'd come out. You know, you think about teams being inside a lot too. Going inside, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, teams that come from inside to outside, even though they've been outside some, you've been inside too. You know, pickoffs and all that stuff are usually pretty sharp.
You mentioned that you didn't want to give away too much information on your team, but
Well, I mean, it's 24 hours, so.
I was going to say, how gratifying is it now that you have this many people and all these people out here that want to know about tech baseball, that want to know all your personnel and.
Well, that's kind of the vision. I mean, we're trying to get there. You know, I think the interesting thing is I think our staff feels like we're just getting started still. We're always trying to build this thing, always trying to add pieces to it. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's, you know, that probably can turn on a dime, I would say, you know, in most sports. But we try to do the best we can each day, and we appreciate all you guys being here.
How did this Oregon matchup come about? I remember you saying the other day that some team dropped another. Was it Michigan that got dropped?
No, that was another deal. Oregon was really just looking for somewhere to go south. I think we had lost somebody. It's been a while since I even thought about it, but opportunity, it became an opportunity for them to come down and play opening weekend and just put it together for them.
Do you like playing a team in a Power 5 conference to open with as opposed to a team that's lesser recognized? Just for maybe excitement and enthusiasm?
Yeah, I think for the fans, I think it's great. I mean, I think any baseball team you play, they all put their pants on the same way. I mean, I think, you know, the guy on the mound dictates a lot of things in a baseball game. you know, as far as for us, I mean, we're going to try to go out and play good baseball, I would hope, no matter who we're playing. And but do we like it because it might create some excitement? Absolutely. But I mean, we're not going to back down from playing anybody anywhere. Never have, and we want to play whoever wants to play us. And you know, I mean, if somebody wants to play Tuesday, we'll probably play. I mean, so we need one more game on our schedule. So just need some warm weather somewhere. It's going to be snowing here maybe on Tuesday. You guys know baseball coaches look at the weather early, right? Like this time of year, we're about a week ahead on the weather.
You're 24 hours out of the first game, Coach. What do you like most about your team?
I think the biggest thing is with this group is they really enjoy coming to the ballpark. You know, I think they've got a passion for excellence. I think they got a passion for being great. I think they know that each day is a challenge within the game to play the game. And probably the biggest thing is just their passion, you know, to show up and work.
Not that you're going to turn down all the preseason accolades, but are you ready to get out on the field after it seemed like every single day getting an email saying that you're on some kind of watch list?
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, you're very thankful to get all those awards. The recognition's awesome, but at the end of the day, it just means that you have potential. You got to go out there and play now. And we've been biting the bit, especially after losing in Omaha. Now we know what it takes to get there. This group of guys does, the core group, so now we just want to go play, get ready for it.
What do you think this team's potential is? I mean, I know you guys have a lot of new faces, but it seems like at this point you guys are just dropping new great athletes in to fill the spot.
Oh, man, we are going to be fast. We're going to have so many different tools in the lineup, be so dynamic. I just can't wait to see these guys play in a real game. Because I mean, we're scrimmaging against each other. You know what the pitcher's got. You're playing, and we haven't been in the same lineup, the starting lineup together yet. We've been against each other, so just to see what all these guys can do, it's going to be pretty sweet.
What early goals have you set for yourself at the start of the season?
Well, the goal of never making any errors defensively has always been one, but other than that, just to be the best teammate I can be. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I've learned over the past 2 years, and I just want to trickle it down to all the new guys that have come in and let them know that we're here for the long haul. It's not just to play games.
You mentioned how fast y'all are going to be. We saw Gabe Holt steal a lot of bases last year, and Max Marshak has that reputation as well. Is there anybody else that you're referring to, or is it mainly those guys?
Those two are unreal. I think Gabe was 29 for 29 last year. It seems like they get on first base, it could be a double or triple in a hurry just by stealing second, stealing third. Dylan Noisy has also come in. He's got a lot of speed. Drew Baker. Those two guys are really dynamic in what they can do. They can run. So we're going to put a lot of pressure on defenses to make plays and to throw us out. We're going to make teams throw us out, take extra bases, and really just put that pressure on the other team.
I think the last time I talked to you, you were filling up a water bottle during the College World Series. What have you done with that water bottle?
I'm going to sprinkle it on the mound tomorrow after the national anthem. I got it, and I can't wait to put it out there. I've been waiting. It's been in my room this whole time, but it'll be sprinkled out there tomorrow.
Was that dirt from Omaha? Or
yeah. So right after we lost, I filled up a water bottle about halfway full of the dirt from the field in Omaha and put it here so these guys know that's our goal. That's what we're working for.
And I was asking Coach Tadlock this a moment ago, but now that Tech has made College World Series 3 times in 5 years, is that what the standard should be, you feel like?
Oh, that's definitely the standard. And now it's not the goal of just making it to Omaha. Is to try to bring one back to Lubbock. I think the goal in the past 2 years has been to get to Omaha, and that's the grand scheme of things, but now it's to go get one and bring one home.
What have you done since last season to just prepare yourself to have the best year you can have? Is there any element of your game that you felt like needed special attention?
For sure. So I fell in love with vision stuff throughout the fall. So I got these glasses called synaptic strobes and really just honed in on creating better vision for myself. I think it just helps everything, defense, offense. So I'd stand in on bullpens and they're blinking. So it's really tough to see. They're tinted and they blink, all different kind of settings. And then I field with them as well. But really just vision, honing in and just trying to be perfect, quote unquote, just to be consistent on a daily basis with everything I can do.
So is that like a training tool? Or
Yeah, it's a
something you
training
actually
tool.
can wear during the game?
I probably won't wear them during the game. That'd be
I
tough.
didn't know what to
But yeah, it's a training tool. Yeah,
I thought maybe
they're
some
pretty
special
new.
glasses or something.
Yeah, they're pretty new. But they're pretty sweet. I like them. I use them on a daily basis.
So Travis Brophy told me last year that he's a buddy of yours, and he asked you what you say to the bat. He hasn't got you to tell him yet. Can you say what you say to the bat?
Nah, I can't say anything yet. I mean, it's still working for me, so I got to keep it a secret for now because I can't let anyone else know. Then they'll start using it and it'll work for them too. But I'm just gonna keep that with me for now.
So you're unanimous preseason All-America and on every watch list and everything that comes out, but you're also obviously projected as a high draft choice. Do you feel, is there going to be pressure there to play at the level that everybody expects, or do you think at some point this year there'll be some pressure in that regard?
No. First of all, I don't believe in pressure. I think it's just something that you put on yourself. And with the draft, I'm not worried about it. Because if I go out here on a daily basis, take care of my business, that'll all work itself out in the end. So I'm just going out here to play for the guy next to me, and really just to help the team every single day, spread my knowledge and try to play the best I can.
Braxton, what's the process been like for you getting back and healthy and ready to pitch?
It's been a struggle. I didn't go anywhere this summer. I stayed here all summer, and I have to say that was probably one of the worst times of my life to get hurt and not be able to play, because you know what it's like having fun, playing with your buddies that you work with all fall, and you love to see the results after grinding with them. So I think it kind of made me not take anything for granted at this point. I think getting back healthy was probably really good for me, because I know now to do all my stuff right, and I know not to take anything for granted, and I'm just glad to be back.
What was it that you had last year?
It was a stress reaction, which is like there's 3 different forms of a stress fracture. There's a stress reaction, a stress fracture, and then a fracture. So it was like if I would have kept throwing or not done anything to help it, it probably would have became a fracture or a stress fracture. So, and then I also had a low-grade strain in my UCL, which was all no surgery or anything, which was huge. So I just got to rest for a little while and then start my rehab right away. So it was good.
And at what point did you feel like yourself again, or actually feel confident on the mound and trust it?
I started throwing bullpens mid-summer, and I think for the first time, I really felt like myself was probably 3 bullpens after, because I kind of didn't have my feel really in the first 2. I was kind of struggling to find my pitches. And then the third one, me and Brian, our trainer, kept working on stuff, and was just stuck with my throwing program. And then the third bullpen, I was like, all right, I'm ready to have a hitter step in there. I was ready to go.
So it wasn't long then after the season? So what, you said mid-summer, did you say?
Yeah, the summer.
So it wasn't long then after the season?
No, I had just had 6 weeks of rest and then 6 weeks of rehab, and then the rehab was like it included throwing too. So.
Can you kind of give us an idea of what your rehab was like? Just kind of what you did to get back?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was just band work, and it was going in with Brian, heating my arm, having him do some work on it, stretches. That was probably the main thing I had to do. And then I would have a pre-throwing routine and then a post-throwing routine. So I would do all my stretches and my bands and stuff before I threw. I would play catch, and there was a set distance that I would play catch with, and we would work back every week, go back a little bit, and then after throwing, I would just do my similar band routine but different stuff, just to kind of do, like, instead of a I'm trying to think of the word, instead of activation, it was reactive, so it was all the stuff like moving backwards rather than doing stuff to get warmed up.
You said that was 6 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are some of the other pitches that were maybe things that you would use in the past that maybe you're going to go back to, or maybe some new things that you're trying after the season?
What I realized, because I obviously had a lot of time to myself during season to kind of think about what maybe caused what happened to me, and because I was talking to some doctors and stuff, and they were saying, well, if you were hurt, then something probably wasn't going right in your delivery or something like that. So I kind of used film and stuff to kind of see what I was doing, and I noticed that my delivery was kind of stiff. I wasn't necessarily letting my arm loose. I was kind of getting back here, and my arm was kind of like a catapult, if you will, throughout the delivery. And I think sometimes when I extend on a changeup or something, it could have straightened my arm and overextended. And I think that had something to do with it. And now I feel great, and I've shortened my delivery a little bit, so I think that was a big part in it.
What's your role going to be be? Is it ideally a starter to go back to that role, or do you know if you're coming out of the pen?
This weekend I'm coming out of the pen. I think the idea is for me to maybe be like a setup guy, come in after them, and because I mean, now we've got a team of guys, 9 guys that can throw 100. It's unbelievable. I remember my freshman year, I was watching some guys throw and they would hit like 94, 96, and I was like, dang, that's hard. Now we got like 7 guys that can hit 97 whenever they want to. It's just unreal. But I'm really glad to be thrown in front of them, and I think it'll be very effective if we can have a starter going and then me throw and then bring one of the flamethrowers in. It'll be a really good setup.
So who are the guys with the plus fastball?
Everyone besides me, pretty much. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Everyone besides me. I mean, at least that's what it feels like. Because, I mean, we got, I don't know if you guys know, we have a freshman, Mason Montgomery, and he's a lefty too, and he can run it up there if he wants to. And I'm like, man, I'll just throw strikes. That's what I can do. That's, you know, control what I can control, I guess.
Have Bonner, Coach talked about, and big portion of Hill on that.
Oh, yeah, all those guys. It's just unreal to watch their arms work, and it's, I mean, like, they get up there, and it's just like, it's almost like hard to watch them pitch because you're staring at the Coke bottle, because it's like, oh, is this one going to be 100? Like, we're all just waiting to see the double zeros pop up after it flashes. I mean, it's at the same time as it is entertaining, it's really like a blessing to be able to call those guys my teammates and be able to, like Josh was saying, try and bring one back home to Lubbock this year.
Who was the most encouraging to you during your time with your injury?
Honestly, everyone was being really supportive. They were saying how much I could have impacted the team or stuff, and I mean, I know they were just saying that to make me feel better. But the coaching staff, everyone, my trainer, all of them were just sticking by my side and waiting for me to get healthy and stuff. So I was very, very fortunate to have that environment while I was hurt, because if I didn't have that environment, it might have been a little bit tougher for me to kind of get back into the rhythm of things.
So with you being in the bullpen this weekend, does that mean you're going to be in charge of the rowdy celebrations out there, or is that passed to somebody else?
I don't know if we have a set guy that's in charge, but I'm definitely going to put myself out there as one of the ones to get on the fence for sure.
Anything we should look forward for special celebrations from you guys this year?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.